Hey, this is the live music showcase from WMNF in Tampa. I'm Bill Dudley, and we've got a great singer, songwriter, performer, guitar player, jack of all trades here on the show today. It's Jack Williams. He's in town for a concert tomorrow night, and we're lucky enough to have him come and play on the radio. Hey, Jack.
Hey, Bill. How you doing?
Welcome back to the show.
It's nice to be here.
Yeah. Why don't you start off with a song here?
Okay. Good idea. Josh White was a natural man, held a plug nickel in the palm of his hand. He raised it up like a glass to his eye. What he saw through the nickel made the natural man cry. Lord, 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 this morning made a natural man cry. Then through the nickel a vision arose. He saw an actor in the jungle with a bone in his nose. He saw a maid in an apron with a Hollywood grin. He heard a singer at the back door slamming again. Lord, 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 he heard the back door slamming again. High up on the mountain sat the Lord and the natural man. Oh, Josh White got the gift of song, but he never saw the promised land. He never saw the promised land. So Josh White laid the nickel down. He put his hands in his pockets, strolled into town. Looked to the left and over to the right, but he couldn't find a place to spend his money that night. Lord, 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 he sure wanna spend some money tonight. Oh, he ran to the hotel, dollar in hand, but they wouldn't take a dollar from no colored man. He said, it's getting mighty late, mister, where can I go? He said, now play me a tune, I'll let you sleep on the floor. Lord, 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 Josh White asleep on the floor. High up on a mountain sat the Lord and the natural man. Oh, Josh White got the gift of song, but he never saw the promised land. He never saw the promised land. Now way up yonder, where the angels are found, all the blood from his fingers stained the heavenly ground. There ain't nothing to do but to do what you do, and you do it till they roll a stone over you. Lord, 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 don't let them roll a stone over you. High up on the mountain sat the Lord and the natural man. Oh, Josh White got the gift of song, but he never saw the promised land. High up on the mountain, I heard a coal black angel sing. And the better plug nickel, if he came back tomorrow, it wouldn't change a doggone thing. I bet it wouldn't change a doggone thing. Oh,
Yeah, great song. Jack Williams. Is that one of your songs?
It's one of my songs.
Great.
For one of my heroes.
Yeah.
Josh White.
The original Josh White.
The original.
Well,
Yeah, Josh Jr.'s a good performer, but he's not his daddy.
Well, he was one of the great blues guys of what, the 30s, 40s?
He was the most famous folk singer of the 30s and 40s.
Uh-huh.
And he played blues, but he also played other stuff. And he broke every color barrier there was at the time. He was the first black performer to tour solo in the United States and internationally.
Jeez.
And he did it in the company of his good friend and the godmother to his children, Eleanor Roosevelt.
Wow. So she saw it. She helped to
Oh yeah,
promote him.
they were friends. It's nice to know that at least at one time in our history, a folk singer had the ear of the president. You know.
Yeah, that's really something. Great song. Jack Williams is our guest, folks, on today's Live Music Showcase. You can watch Jack live as it happens on our Facebook page, which is LMS WMNF. Just go to Facebook, type in LMS WMNF. You'll get our live Facebook feed. And Jack been on the show maybe a couple times before.
Times?
Yeah. So what's new with you? Haven't seen you for a few years.
I'm older. I notice you are too.
Yeah. I couldn't help but notice that myself.
What's new? I'm touring a little less often. I'm enjoying being at home more. I've been this is my 60th year, pushing into my 61st year of playing professionally.
Wow.
And staying home a little more.
Where are you making your home these days? You in South Carolina, or?
I'm originally from South Carolina, but now Judy and I live in the Ozarks of Northwest Arkansas.
Really? How come you moved up there?
Community.
Yeah.
Weather, 4 clear seasons. Can't handle, I'm sorry, but I can't take January, December in Florida. It's unnatural. And I'm not a snowbird.
You know when the seasons are happening up there.
I want to know when the season. I lived in Florida for many years. Judy lived in Florida for 30 years.
Uh-huh.
And she and I both wanted a change of seasons.
Yeah, in the Ozarks, huh?
But mostly there's a great community of musicians up there.
Really?
Yeah. A group called Still on the Hill, a duo, is pretty well known nationally. It's
Yeah, they've
trout
been here.
fishing in America.
Yeah.
They're neighbors of ours.
Well, that's great. Yeah.
Great place.
Yeah. Well, do us another song. We'll come back and find out a little bit more about Jack and his.
I'll play a song I wrote for a Georgian, the man who wrote Deliverance. I learned about him as a poet.
Well, James Dickey.
James Dickey, one of my favorite Southern poets. He spent his last years teaching poetry at the University of South Carolina. And the day I heard he passed away, I wrote this song. And I heard from his son shortly afterwards, who wrote to me and said, I heard your song. You nailed my old man.
That's good to know.
And I thought, great, I'm happy with that. So here's a song I wrote for James Dickey. And for anybody that's geographically challenged when it comes to South Carolina, in the chorus, I'm not singing about someone named Joe Cassie. I'm singing about the Lake Joe Cassie in northwest South Carolina. Seaboard rail line, Charleston bound, sashes skyward, one last round. Herons and bitterns with their heads hung down, the old buck dancer's gone. The fiddler squeals in the cotton gin, strikes a match and invites us in. Guitars and banjos and mandolins play the old buck dancer's song. Sweet Joe Cassie, make my bed. My dreams are loose and the moon is red. With so much music left unsaid, the old buck dancer's gone. There is no star for me to climb, to scan the sky for just one last rhyme. I'll borrow one from him this time, the The old buck dancer's gone. Now the Santee's burning at the source. It veers unfettered from its course like some alligator tidal force. The old buck dancer's gone. Sweet Joe Cassie, make my bed. My dreams are loose and the moon is red. The world's music left unsaid. The old buck dancer's gone. The dancer witnessed blood and fire. He saw with the seers, he lied to the liars, and he bled for every heart's desire. The old buck dancer's gone. Oh, now give me one last spin around with every pretty girl in town, and bury me in a live oak crown, and then dance all over my grave. Sweet Joe Cassie, make my bed. My dreams are loose and the moon is red. So much music left unsaid. The old buck dancer's gone. The old buck dancer's gone.
Jack Williams, our guest on today's Live Music Showcase from WMNF in Tampa. I'd like to shout out to our crew, Mark Perfetti, doing the mixing here today, getting the audio just exactly right. He's assisted by Dr. Richard Stone. Dr. Stone is responsible for our YouTube presence, and he'll have this program up on YouTube later on this evening or tomorrow morning. You can watch us on YouTube as well as, of course, watching us live right now at Facebook/LMSWMNF. We have our video crew who's making it all possible for Facebook and YouTube, and that is Marcy and Tom Connors, and also Mr. Larry Lockdown on cameras, and we've got Bob Hoke is directing this whole thing. So great crew here today. Jack, you're going to be appearing tomorrow night in a show in Tampa, I believe. Is this?
I am.
You doing any other places or appearing any other places around?
Actually, I'm playing tonight in Lakeland.
Okay.
At Among Friends house concert.
All right.
And playing for Luna Zoot tomorrow. And this is, how many times have I played for you?
This will be
The sixth. And most of the time when I play for Luna Zoot is around my birthday, which is December 26th. So this will kind of be my 75th birthday concert.
Well, happy birthday.
Well, thanks.
Just a couple of days.
Yeah, I'll be
away.
in Northport, Gainesville, Orlando, several different spots. People can go to my website and get all the details at jackwilliamsmusic.com.
jackwilliamsmusic.com. Okay. So give us just a tiny little bit of bio stuff about yourself. You've done all kinds of things, I believe.
Yeah, I haven't played guitar all my life. Started on the ukulele, taught myself the piano, took up the trumpet, and I played in a jazz group, playing up around Seattle.
Really?
Playing the Beatnik coffee houses in Seattle. Yeah.
Wow.
And
playing jazz?
Playing jazz. I had a band actually that doubled as a rock and roll band and a jazz band. I played guitar in the rock band and trumpet in the jazz group.
That sounds pretty. You mean the same band?
Same band, same people. Just you got to work, so you make yourself adaptable.
Yeah.
But that was fun. Then I went off to University of Georgia and I studied composition.
Oh.
And this was September was my 60th year touring.
Wow, you studied composition.
Studied composition.
Did that hurt your playing very much?
Theory did. Composition did not. theory is the most damaging thing to a musical career possible.
Really?
Yeah, the most damaging thing to a listener to. People come to me all the time. I teach a good bit. I teach at workshops, summer camps around the country, and people say, I need to learn some theory so I'll get better. And I say, no, it's not what you need to do. And I know because I taught theory.
What do they need? What do you tell them they need to get their ear?
Yeah, absolutely. They tend to think if they can read something in a book, they go and translate it, make music out of it. Theory is nothing but a collection of what has been done. And you can read about it all you want, but until you learn to hear it, you know, I can go on and on about that, but I'm just not going to do it.
Well, you've been sitting here. I listened in while you were sitting here doing your sound check. And you're playing a lot of old jazz songs and some standard and some show tunes and stuff like that. So you enjoy doing stuff like that.
I enjoy doing that for myself.
Yeah.
I'm not a I hate to say it, but I confess I'm not a fan of guitar music. But I always actually, as you can tell by my voice, I struggle with it a lot, and that has to do with being 75 and having abused it in rock and roll bands for 35 years. But
you survived it.
I did, but one thing that brought me back to playing those old pop jazz tunes was I lost my voice and had to play a series of about 24 concerts over a 5-year period with no voice.
Wow.
And not being a fan of guitar music, that was tough because I didn't really want to play a gig that I wouldn't pay to go hear.
Yeah.
And so I had to find something to play. And I can make stuff up all day. And I went on and played stuff. Everybody thought, well, that's a song. Yeah, that's a song. Now it is. But I also went back to my old jazz repertoire on the trumpet and picked up a bunch of tunes that I could possibly play, you know, in front of people. And since my audiences are generally in their 50s, 40s, 60s, and they actually knew some of these songs.
Yeah.
And I even ended up recording one, Tenderly.
You want to do that for us? You feel like doing one of those tunes?
I hadn't planned on it, but I
well, if
sure
not,
I'll do it.
you do what you want to do.
Well, I like playing
it's your
this
show.
one. But like I said, I like doing it. I just don't like listening to it.
Yeah. Well, we'll listen to it.
You listen, I'll play. How's that?
Yeah, that's a deal.
All right. This is a song that was written by Henry Gross and Jack Lawrence in 1946. And this is one that I picked to cover for me when I couldn't sing. And I ended up putting it on my most recent album. First time I ever recorded an instrumental song.
Nice
Thanks.
job there.
Folk music.
What key are you doing? You got a capo on the first fret.
Yeah.
what-
All the jazz players tell me that, only wimps use capos.
Yeah,
I just tell them to go to hell.
Yeah. Well, they like those E flat and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can play an E flat too, but to get the sound, I figure it's more important to get the sound you want than to play correctly.
Yeah, since we don't really know what correct is anymore, this kind of thing.
I mentioned my latest album. Something that
Please mention all that stuff.
I never thought to say before, but it turns out that I have people telling me, they say, I've got all your albums. And I say, where did you get them? Oh, Amazon or somewhere like that. I beg you, please don't go to the big corporate sources to get my albums. They do not pay me.
Oh, yeah.
I make no money.
Yeah.
If you want to support me and my work, please go to my website, jackwilliamsmusic.com. We'll send it right out as soon as we get your...
Yeah. Okay, good advice. Yeah, it's a good thing. Good thing to know there. Jack Williams is our guest on today's live music showcase. And like he said, he's got a website, jackwilliamsmusic.com. And he's been around for a few years, a few decades, picking and singing, picking and grinning. And when did you first decide that you wanted to do this full time, play your guitar and sing, write songs? Yeah.
That's when my career started.
Mm-hmm.
I'd been playing guitar for 1 week, and I had a band, and we started making money, and I started playing every weekend, and I've been playing every weekend since.
Yeah.
I played ukulele from the time I was 4, so actually I'd been playing.
Were your parents musical?
No.
Really?
My dad, Lieutenant Captain Major Colonel Williams, he was not particularly interested in music. My mother dabbled with the ukulele, which is where I got my parents and my whole family on both sides. It's a bit of a curiosity that I even exist coming from that family, because there is no artistic DNA to be found anywhere on either side, and there is some question about whose child I really am.
Because of that, huh?
Because of that, but here I am, and I decided when I was 15. I may have decided before that, but I was too young to even consider. But when they gave me my first $15 on that first gig in Fort Lewis, Washington, at the Teenage Club with a band, I thought, I can do this. And I was warned against it by some of my elders.
Yeah, I would imagine that happened.
And I love proving people wrong.
It's a good feeling.
It's a great feeling.
Well, you got the same old guitar that you had last time. This guitar's been through a lot. I see you got one little piece of the pickguard left on there.
2 pieces.
Okay, yeah. And one of them's just right for your little finger.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens when it goes. I'll just find something else.
It's an old Martin. What is it, a D28?
D35.
D35? Oh, yeah.
I bought it new in '74.
Oh, man.
I had been playing a Guild guitar.
Yeah.
And I was in the studio in 1973 with my band and Harry Nilsson.
Uh-huh.
And we were doing an album, and Harry and I were producing it. And he said, Jack, that Guild doesn't record very well. Would
Really?
you mind trying a different guitar we have back here? And I said, oh, wait a minute. I was used to that old guitar. And I gave in, and I picked up a guitar that he handed me, and it felt so good.
Really?
I went home from that session. I lived in Colorado, and I went from L.A. back to Colorado and went right down to the Denver Folklore Center and said, I want a Martin guitar. Of course, not knowing anything about guitars, I had neglected to find out what model it was.
Oh, yeah.
So I played about 70 D28s that day before I found out that really what I wanted was a D35.
Well, there's not much difference except for the back, right? I mean, the back is 3-piece rather than
No
2-piece.
difference. I picked this one up after 70 guitars that I couldn't stand, and played this one, and I bought it on the spot.
Yeah. That's a good story. That's good.
It's an amazing difference. I don't know what the difference is, because I can't talk guitar.
Yeah, well.
I can talk music, but I can't talk guitar.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to.
Yeah, that's true.
Do us another song.
Another song. Song written by Jack Hardy. Jack Hardy was like one of the most influential songwriters of the New York City folk scene of the 70s. when Smithsonian Folkways put out a double disc of his collected works, they took some of us folks who were influenced by him and friends and had every song sung and recorded by a different artist. And I was honored to be asked to contribute one. So I picked one that he wrote about one of his heroes. And this is also on my last CD. The hero is Sojourner Truth. And Jack took the words of a speech he gave in Toledo, Ohio around 1832. And I play it and I think about the courage of this woman who was black, was a woman, and outspoken about women's rights and about abolition in 1832 and lived to tell about it. Ain't I a woman, said Sojourner Truth. Ain't I a woman? Ain't I a woman, said Sojourner Truth. Ain't I a woman? I can bear the lash, I have borne the lash, when none but Jesus heard me. I borne 13 children, seen most of them sold off into slavery. Ain't I a woman, said Sojourner Truth. Ain't I a woman? Ain't I a woman, said Sojourner Truth. Ain't I a woman? I can work as much, I can eat as much as any man can when I can get it. I've plowed and I've planted and I've gathered in the barn, and look at me, I'm a woman. Ain't I a woman, said Sojourner Truth. Ain't I a woman? Oh, ain't I a woman, said Sojourner Truth. Ain't I a woman? If the very first woman that turned the world upside down and all of those women together could turn this world back right side up, well, the men just better let them. There's a man over there said, shut my mouth, 'cause Christ was not a woman. I got only one question for that man. Where did your Christ come from? He came from a woman. He came from a woman. Came from God and a woman, and there weren't no man. Man didn't have a thing to do with it. Oh, ain't I a woman, said Sojourner Truth. Ain't I a woman? Yeah, ain't I a woman, said Sojourner Truth. Ain't I a woman? Now ain't I a woman, said Sojourner Truth. Ain't I a woman? Ain't I a woman, said Sojourner Truth. Ain't I a woman? Oh yeah, now ain't I a woman? Oh, ain't I a woman? Jack Hardy song.
Folks, that's Jack Williams. He's our guest on today's live music showcase from WMNF in Tampa. You can watch this show right now, even as it's happening, on Facebook. Go to facebook.com, type in LMSWMNF. And you can listen to old shows on our YouTube channel. Just go to type in WMNF. WMNF Live Music, you should get it. And we've got shows going back 3 or 4 years on there. Thanks to Richard Stone for hooking us up with our YouTube stuff, our YouTube presence, and it's a great bunch of shows. Mark Perfetti mixing up the audio today, assisted by Richard Stone. We've got Marcy and Tom Connors and Larry Lockdown on cameras. We've got Bob Hoke doing the directorial stuff. And we're happy to be here with you on Community Radio. It's a show that happens every Friday afternoon right here on WMNF. Greatest little radio station on planet Earth.
That's
so
right.
I'm Bill Dudley, and this is a show that depends on your support out there in Radio Land. We'll be doing some fundraising here in the next month or so, but if you want to get the jump on that, you might want to just go over to WMNF.org, hit up the old tip jar, leave a tax-deductible contribution for this radio station and this here radio show so we can keep bringing folks like Mr. Williams here on the air live. Happy to have him picking and singing for us today.
Back.
Yeah. So tell the new album has got some new songs on it, some new original songs. And
believe it or not, it hadn't got as many. It has new songs, but mostly it's songs that This is my 11th album.
Oh wow!
Well, 14 if you count out of print.
Uh-huh.
But this has a collection of songs, some of which are like 30 and 40 years old.
Really?
Several 40-year-old songs on it.
Never been recorded
I wrote
before?
them years ago, and I never thought I would record them. I might have thought they weren't recording worthy.
Uh-huh.
But I turned my attention to them, and I thought, after all these years, these songs deserve a place on an album, and I finally put them together.
Really? What's the new album called?
Far Away, Long Ago.
Okay. Yeah, now I know you put out an album a few years back of old songs.
It was the last one. It's called 4 Good Days.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're thinking of all cover songs.
Yeah, the cover song album.
Yeah. I did the cover song album, and then I did the one before this last one. Also had songs as old as 40-something years.
Yeah. So you went
dating back to my very first songs.
Really? Well, a lot of people throw their first songs away. Because
I didn't. One or two still in my repertoire.
Still stood the test of time there, huh?
Yeah, I was surprised.
You want to do one of those?
Sure, I can do the title song from that new CD.
That'd be great.
Yeah, this is the kind of song that can only be written by somebody pushing well into their 70s. Last night I had a dream. I took a ride somewhere, guided by a moonbeam, honeysuckle in the air. I stood up on a hillside, saw the people down below, moving like the ebb tide, far away and long ago. I saw the house that I grew up in. I saw me as a kid. Saw all that I believed in and the amazing things we did. Saw Mama in the backyard singing sweet and low. I saw Daddy in the big ward far away and long ago. I was born a dreamer, that's all I've ever known. I dreamed I lived forever, then I felt the wind blow. I heard a cuckoo singing, hidden in the trees. I heard a school bell ringing, and it brought me to my knees. Saw an engine in the train yard, wondered where it longed to go. I saw me in a boxcar, far away and long ago. Now I stand before the seasons, I serenade the past. I need no rhyme or reason to love what cannot last. For now my dream has ended, and the wind has ceased to blow. My future is suspended far away long ago. I was born a dreamer, that's all I've ever known. I dreamed I'd live forever, then I felt the wind blow.
Oh, I like that one.
Thanks.
That's great. That's on the new album?
That's the title song.
And what's it called?
Far Away, Long Ago.
Far Away, Long. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I can't call it a new album anymore. It's been a couple years now.
Okay. The most recent album.
The most recent album.
Yeah, I like that song.
Thank you.
Folks, Jack Williams is our guest on today's show. It's a show that we do every Friday afternoon here on Community Radio, WMNF. And we're really happy to be here with some of the best performers dropping by from around the country and around the area. Never know who we're going to have on next, so it's been an exciting show over the last 25 years or so we've been doing this show. I guess we started doing this show in 1996, so however long that is. Anyway, happy to be doing it here with you on Community Radio. I'd like to hear another old song, if that was an old song.
I'll play an old one.
Yeah.
This one I play at every concert because it was written for the person that gave me music.
Oh.
Who got honorable mention in that last song. It's my mother. And she supported me in my music career.
Yeah.
And
she did not try to dissuade you?
No, she kept my dad's dire economic warnings at bay. I was an only child, military kid, so I was traveling a lot, and fortunately she had that ukulele with her, and she let me play it one day, and it's been downhill ever since. But she liked it when I turned to rock and roll too. She liked rock and roll music.
Yeah.
And so this song has a little bit of an old-fashioned rock and roll backbeat.
She sounds like a great gal.
Song, oh man, she was. She lived to be 60 years old. She never got to hear the songs, but song's got a lot of food in it, southern food.
Oh, I know.
I don't mean Tampa Southern.
I know what this is going to be.
North of here, southern.
I think you sang this when you were on the show back in the old radio station.
Oh, very likely.
Yeah. It's a good song.
Early Sunday morning, I'm stretching and I'm yawning, shaking off the night before. Somewhere in the dwelling, something mighty good is smelling. There's a racket on the kitchen floor. Papa's chopping wood, the fire's burning good, and a kettle bubbling on the eye. There's a ham in the oven, Mama's stirring something, son. Touch it and I'll tan your hide. Oh, Mama Lou, I'm staying here with you. Cook me something sweet tonight. That old porch swings creaking, Mama's tea kettle shrieking on a sunny Thanksgiving day. Wipe the smile off my face, 'cause Grandpa's saying grace, but any kid would rather eat than pray. I love my collard greens, I want some black-eyed peas, I want sweet potatoes on the side. Then okra gets my vote if it slides down my throat, and of course I want my chicken fried. Oh, Mama Lou, I'm staying here with you. Cook me something sweet tonight. Now the tea is double sweet, it cools me when I eat. I smell biscuits rising slow in the pan. Mama's cobbler full of berries, topped with ice cream and cherries, makes a beggar out of any man. My memories roam to that old family home where it smelled like heaven all the time. And grandmama never changed from a fire to a range. That's music to this heart of mine. Oh, Mama Lou, I'm staying here with you. Cook me something sweet tonight. I'll play it, Jack. Okay. Oh, now there's a pound cake baking, and my taste buds are quaking. Mama's trickling lemon icing on top. I'd still be licking that bowl at 100 years old if Mama hadn't ever stopped. Oh, but stop, yes, she did. And us broken-hearted kids, we never let a blessed word go by. That my mama's gentle spirit didn't fly by and hear it raising love innocent reply. Oh, Mama Lou, I'm staying here with you. Cook me something sweet tonight. Cook me something sweet tonight. Cook me something sweet tonight. People ask me, what in the world all that scat singing has to do with a song about my mother? Has everything to do with it. Everything. My mother didn't just give me music. She gave me freedom. She gave me permission. Permission to play and sing anytime, anywhere I like. Anyway, no rules. Thanks, Mom.
Oh. Oh, that tickles me. Jack Williams, our guest on today's live music showcase from WMNF Community Radio in Tampa. Mark Perfetti mixing it up. Marcy and Tom Connors and Larry on the cameras. Bob Hoke directing. Our YouTube producer, Dr. Richard Stone. And I'm Bill Dudley, and this is a show we do every Friday afternoon here on Community Radio. I love that song. That's one you did back at our old studios, which is now the parking lot here at WMNF.
That song's been around a long
You didn't
time.
have all the scatting in it in those days,
Well,
so I think you've expanded it some.
Over the years, its performances. Yeah, the scatting was in it early on, but very short.
Not as much.
Then all of a sudden, it made me think of things, and I started saying what I thought.
Yeah.
And as I thought of it, I played it, and that's just the way it goes.
Well, you started picking and singing when you were 15, but who were your influences? Who would you listen to? Who was your favorite? Was it rock and roll guys? I know that if you come out to one of your shows, people that come out to one of your shows, the last 15 minutes or so is this extended stream of consciousness.
Well,
medley.
my real musical influences were not guitar players.
Yeah, well, you've told us that. Yeah.
The only one that actually influenced me truly was Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
And rest his soul.
By way of rock and roll.
But my influences were classical jazz.
Uh-huh.
Johannes Brahms is my favorite musical entity of all time.
Uh-huh.
And, Mahler, Shostakovich. I just have a lot of...
You were able to hear this stuff while you were growing up?
Oh, yeah. Fortunately, my mother had a big old Victrola, a big old 78 RPMs,
Really?
Yeah. And I've still got those 78s. One of them is a recording of Rachmaninoff himself playing.
Oh, yeah.
And,
well, in those days, an album was like 5 12-inch
Oh, they were big old things.
shellac
And
records.
when the record changed, you heard because it slapped against it. I've still got them. But jazz, I loved Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, and all of that, and then as well as Miles Davis, Charlie Mingus,
Yeah.
going into jazz world, and I couldn't resist it.
Yeah.
And so that's basically where my guitar style came from. I occasionally listened to someone play I'd hear somebody doing something in a song like Paul Simon, and I thought, well, I like that.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't listen to him as a great guitar player. I thought he had a great idea.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It wasn't, and people come up to me and they say, you're the best guitar player I ever heard. Well, that's because they're not listening real closely. I'm not the greatest guitar player they ever heard. I'm sloppy, but I don't care. I think what people hear is what you choose to play.
It's the energy, partly.
It's energy, and it's your choices you make, and your ideas. And when people hear me, I think they like my ideas. But if they were to hear me just play guitar, oh man, go back and watch this video, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
So,
But I didn't listen to guitar players.
Yeah.
I listened to big bands. I like the sound of big bands. And I like the sound of, and this all just combined to give me a career. So.
yeah. Well, I was telling Jack before the show that I read about one of the great, if not the greatest jazz guitar player of the early 20th century, Charlie Christian, and he said he never listened to other guitar players. He listened to saxophones and trumpets.
Saxophone, well, yeah. I basically listened to ensembles, listen to string quartets. And if I could do with the guitar what a string quartet, and I try.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's why my music sounds like it does, because I try to make it sound like that.
Yeah. Well, I think we got time enough for maybe a couple more tunes. We've got about 7 minutes to go here in the show. So whatever you got, we'd love to hear it.
Well, let's see. I got a whole bunch of them written down here. Part of my career has been devoted to accompanying other people.
Really?
Yeah, I really enjoy that. I've accompanied Peter Yarrell, Peter, Paul, and Mary,
Yeah.
Harry Nilsson, Mickey Newberry, I was partners with him the last 7 years of his life.
Really?
Mickey Newberry, who wrote Just Dropped In, See What Condition My Condition Was In,
Yeah, right, yeah.
among many other better songs. But one of my most favorite accompanying jobs was Tom Paxton.
Oh, what a great guy.
And I wanted to try to write a song like Tom Paxton, because mine are so right-brained and his are so clear. And people will ask me sometimes, they'll say, Jack, I really like that song, but what does it mean? And no one would ever ask Tom Paxton that question. And so I thought I'd try to write a song like him.
I got to shake his hand one time.
Really?
He did a concert here. We did it down in Hyde Park. And I thought, this is the man who wrote Last Thing on My Mind. And I walked up to him, I shook his hand, and I actually got all choked up.
I did too when I first heard him play it.
I mean,
I think I did the
shaking
last
his
time I
hand
heard him play it too.
did it for me, because this was the guy, There he was, right in the flesh there.
Well, I tried to write a song in the style of Tom Paxton, and I think I failed. But I don't care. I like where I ended up. It was an exercise that took me to an interesting place.
All right.
And so this is the title song from another CD. Tell the truth every time, speak it softly, make it rhyme. Take the high road home. Lies and secrets fly by night, let's walk together in the light. Take the high road home. Who's to say what's right or wrong? It all depends who wrote the song. Take the high road home. Say today or say mañana, play with money or play piano. Take the high road home. It's a long way from here to there. your wine or fill your cup. Thank your stars or count your bucks. You can take your time or use it up. It's a long way. Who's to say what's right or wrong? It all depends who wrote the song. Take the high road home. Light a fire, let it burn. That's the way children learn. Take the high road home. Mother smiles, your sister frowns. You send your love from distant towns. Take the high road home. And if your preacher tells a lie, keep your faith, say goodbye. Take the high road home. And it's your flag, right or wrong. Keep it upright, sing your song. Take the high road home. It's a long way from here to there. Spill your wine or fill your cup. Thank your stars or count your bucks. You can take your time or burn it up. It's a long way. Pick your friends, pick your clothes, pick your demons, heaven knows. Take the high road home. And when the reaper comes to call, I think I'll shed no tears at all. Take the high road home. He'll say howdy, I'll say hey. I'll take his hand and call it a day. Take the high road home. It's a long way from here to there. Spill your wine or fill your cup. Thank your stars or count your bucks. You can take your time or burn it up. It's a long way. Tell the truth every time. Speak it softly and make it rhyme. Take the high road home. Take the high road home.
Jack, we just got a minute or so. Can you just give us a little song to take us out?
A little short song.
Jack Williams, our guest on today's live music showcase, and this is WMNF in Tampa.
If I were born far above you, if I loved diamonds and pearls, if I played with princes behind golden fences, I wouldn't know love in this world. I wouldn't know love in this world. If I believed war were the answer, if I took revenge and kept score, if children were born to do battle and mourn, I wouldn't know love anymore. I wouldn't know love anymore. If I believed God cared about me and cared about only my kind, if I believed hell were just for the others, I wouldn't know love in my mind. I wouldn't know love in my mind. If I were born far above you, if I loved diamonds and pearls, if I played with princes behind golden fences, I wouldn't know love in this world. I wouldn't know love in this world. I wouldn't know love in this world.